Why does Saturn have rings? What are the different types of clouds? How does an octopus swim? Why does a tiger have stripes? How do flowers grow?
Tell me why. The Video Encyclopedia is a reference work that's designed to show the answers to questions that young people ask. All materials used in this work are based upon the best-selling book series by Arkady Lyoko.
How do telescopes make things appear closer?
A telescope is used in looking at distant objects on Earth and in studying the stars and other heavenly bodies. A telescope works by gathering light sent from an object, more light than the naked eye can gather, and focusing it to a tiny, sharp point. This point is then magnified to an image which seems very large and close to the observer. There are two main types of telescopes, the refracting and reflecting type. The refractor uses a lens and the reflector uses a mirror to gather light. In a refractor, the observer looks directly at the object. In a reflector, he looks at its reflection in a mirror. In both kinds of telescopes, objects are seen upside down. The refracting telescope has a closed tube. In the top of the tube is the object glass, made of two or more lenses, through which the light passes from the object. This light is refracted or bent by the lenses to bright, sharp focus at the lower end of the tube, where the eyepiece is located. The eyepiece then acts like an ordinary magnifying glass and enlarges this bright image. The reflecting telescope needs only one lens in the eyepiece. Its tube is usually a skeleton framework, open at the top. At the lower end of the tube is a mirror made of glass coated with silver or aluminum and shaped like a large, shallow dish. Light from a star or other distant object is gathered by this mirror and reflected to a bright, sharp focus. A smaller mirror at this focal point sends the image to an eyepiece or camera.
What is an electric eye?
Almost everybody has had the experience of having doors swing open before him as the result of walking past an electric eye. But did you know that the same principle is used in making television possible, and talking movies, and even burglar alarms? The electric eye is the popular name for the photoelectric cell. The name photoelectric cell means that electrons are released by means of light. Basically, the way it works is that there is a vacuum tube or a tube with a very small amount of gas coated on the inside with a light-sensitive metal, usually potassium. When a light plays on this cell, electrons begin to leave the light-sensitive metal. It is so wired that these electrons set up a current that flows in the connecting circuit. If the light is cut off entirely, so is the current. Now, by amplifying the current, all sorts of things can be made to happen. It can be arranged that the starting of the current will activate some mechanism to work. In such cases, the electric eye will go to work when light falls on the cell.
How are tape recordings made?
Tape recording plays an important part in the making of records. In making records, the original sound is picked up by one or more microphones. It is recorded on a special kind of tape called magnetic tape. The sound is changed into electrical signals which cause particles in the tape to be magnetized in a special way. When the tape is played, those magnetized particles give off the same electrical signals which are then converted into sound. Magnetic tape is used in making records because it can be edited. This means it can be cut apart and recombined so that parts can be left out. New parts can be put in place of old, and so on.
What is television?
Television really means seeing at a distance. Pictures are not sent through the air. What is transmitted are electrical impulses. A picture has to be changed into electrical impulses at one end, and then those electrical impulses are then changed back into a picture at the other end. A camera lens focuses a picture on a light-sensitive plate of glass. This plate throws off electrons. In the bright areas of the picture, it throws off many electrons, and in the dark areas, few electrons. The electrons are then collected on a target plate. In this camera tube, at the other end from the target plate, is an electron gun which throws a beam on the target plate. This beam is a scanning beam. It sweeps back and forth in lines across the target plate so that it covers the entire surface 30 times in 1 second. The beam that bounces back is changed or modulated according to whether it strikes a bright or dark area. The return beam is sometimes strong and sometimes weak, according to the image on the target plate. This return beam, which is the form of electrical impulses, goes to an amplifier, then to the transmitting tower of the television station and is sent out. At the receiving end, these impulses are picked up by your antenna, and they go into an amplifier in your set, and are sent to an electron gun which is in your TV picture tube. This gun sends out a beam which goes back and forth across your screen. Your screen also has lines, and the beam scans every other line 30 times in a second. The screen is coated with phosphorus, which gives off light when struck by the electron beam, and so you get the same image that was sent out by the original camera beam. And